first thing I'd like to add that can always give you more volume and body with the vocoder is changing the EQ. So let's go ahead and bring up some of the mid-range frequencies and the EQ on the vocoder, and maybe a little bit of the lower end frequencies, and maybe a little bit of the highs. And I'm going to adjust the decay up just a little bit to like 4 on the vocoder, and we're going to see if that adds any more crispiness to our vocoding sound here. Definitely added some more volume. That's good. And you can hear Mendelssohn playing over this guy's poem. It's actually creating a conglomerate of both working together. A lot of these notes I noticed are short on this MIDI file, so I'm just going to come in and move my right locator here back to just a quarter of it, and I'm going to look at the notes here that came with the MIDI file, and you can see here that they are very short notes indeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight just a small portion of them, just the short notes as a group, and I'm going to drag them out a little bit. I'm going to make them a little bit longer because we're just doing vocoding and we're not trying to recite the actual song. So let's go ahead and see how that sounds, see if we can understand a little bit more of what Mywood's poem reciter dude is saying. Let's check this out. Some high frequencies in there. Sweet. So we've definitely got some nice vocoding going on there. Let's go ahead and add some body to the vocoding sound by right-clicking on an empty spot on the vocoder and create a unison, which is a very simple effect, and it just adds kind of more of a stereo field and kind of basically what it says, unison effect to your vocals. So let's go ahead and play that. You're probably not going to be able to hear it on this tutorial because YouTube has weird compression, but maybe you can, so we'll see. But it's definitely added more body. I'm going to go ahead and lengthen some more of these notes here in my MIDI file. And we're just going to keep playing that. If you find that you're getting some harshness out of the vocoder, try adjusting the EQ and taking out some frequencies, because a lot of the times the mix between the vocal sample and the vocoder, you can have frequencies that are conflicting with each other, or particular problem frequencies, I like to call them. Getting some really weird effects here. But like I said, this lesson is just so you can get an idea of how to create a nice, rich sounding vocoder. If you take away some of the bands, and you'll get more of a robotic Robotron vocoder. So we're going to go down to 8 bands and see how that sounds. Definitely kind of and 4 bands. It's almost like you can't even understand the voice anymore. So let's go ahead, depending on what the sound you're looking for, or I'm going to leave it on 16 bands for this one. And then we can also, now that we've set this up, you can start practicing recording automation. So like, let's record some automation on the vocoder synth. I'm just going to go up, bend up and down octaves while it's recording. So I'm going to set my MIDI icon to record on the vocoder synth here, and I'm going to bring it back to 1. Because you have to do that every time to restart the sample, because Reason is not an audio, does not work with audio the way that Ableton or Pro Tools or Cubase does. So you have to restart big chunk of, if you're using a big chunk sample like this. Now if you have a Rex file, that's a little different, but we'll go into that another time. So let's go ahead and record some automation on the vocoder synth, and mess around with the pitch bend wheel a little bit. Kind of a slow sweep up. And we can go back and look at that automation we just recorded. There it is right there at the bottom. And you can see it's about to go up. So, let's see, what else can we do? We could even add a little bit of, want to get a little bit more kind of a spatial feel. We can come up here to our main mixer, right click on one of the auxiliary returns and create a maybe some advanced reverb, and pick out a reverb preset that you like. Ugly dark room, that's a good one. How about orchestra plate? We'll try that one, and we'll give it a little bit of reverb and just add a little bit of space to the vocoded sound. So basically we've just set this up here so we can just we used a sample that I found off the internet. We used a big long MIDI file of classical music, and we pasted it on top of our vocoder synth track. And now we're just adding different effects to the vocoder and playing with the EQ and recording automation. Let's go ahead and mess with the shift knob while this is going, and we'll go ahead and try that now. So to do that, to record automation on the vocoder, we have to create a sequencer track, and we've already done that. So let's right click in this blank area down here, and we're going to create a sequencer track, and we're going to connect it to vocoder 1. So now that we've done that, we can draw a track, some information here so we know where we're going to be recording. And let's go ahead and play with the shift as our vocoded sound is playing and see how that sounds. You can hear the frequencies on the vocoder shifting up and down, and then we're going to bring it all the way back down. Now if I would have hit record on that, it would have been better, so let's try that again. You can see it flashing down there. You turn the shift all the way down, you get some really nice effects. Slowly sweep it up. And we can also do things at any time, and we can hold the formants. We can press hold if we want. I'm just holding the formants now. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's getting some really nice effects. So let's go ahead and play that one more time before we end the lesson here. Wow, that's actually really neat. So anyway, here's a great way to set up a vocoder empty rack here, and set up a vocoder and import a couple of things so you can start messing around with vocals and how to get some nice rich sounds out of the vocoder. And I encourage you to just keep playing with the vocoder, always keeping in mind, make sure your levels are right. Make sure that you've got your vocoder hooked up correctly. If you don't, you might want to watch the beginning of the tutorial again. And then keep in mind that anything going into the vocoder, as far as vocals, should be EQ'd with a lot of the mid-range accented and less of the lower range. And you will get a much better sound than trying to feed bass-heavy stuff into the vocoder. And if you need to add more body and bass to the vocoder, do it afterwards, after you've already added your input signal. So I hope you enjoyed this quick lesson on using the vocoder with vocals, and we'll see you next time.